Hello and welcome to our first Center Street Streetscape update for Phase 2 of our downtown revitalization efforts. Joining me in the studio today, I have beside me Ms. Julie Metz. She's the president of Downtown Goldsboro Development Corporation. I have Randy Guthrie, his assistant city manager for the city of Goldsboro. And I have Mark Beach, and he's the project manager for TA Loving. I'm Kim Best, and we'll be bringing you these updates every 2 weeks throughout the entire project. You can find updates also on the City of Goldsboro's Facebook page, YouTube channel, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. So let's get started. Julie, if you'll give us an overview of the entire project of Phase 2.
Well, Kim, you know, the first phase started back in 2011 and was completed in November of 2012. And we'll see a lot of the same that you see in the 200 block of North Center Street. Moving forward, southbound, 3 additional blocks. We're able to do this project because of a Tagger grant that we received in September 2013. We received $10 million from the Federal Transit Administration through the Tagger discretionary grant program. And a good portion of those funds, as well as the city's match, will be going towards the completion of the next 3 blocks of the Center Street Streetscape project. The big significant changes that you'll see versus what's been implemented on the 200 block of North Center Street is the fact that we'll have 3 roundabouts installed at the 3 major intersections of Center, Mulberry, Center and Walnut, and Center and Chestnut. And in the Center roundabout, we'll have a great feature, the granite water fountain that many people remember when they looked at the renderings that were created back in the master plan of 2007. So we're really excited to get this project started. It means a lot to us. We've been working on it for a very long time. And you know, it's what's great about it is it's a culmination of the master plan process and the public input that went into that master planning process. It was 13 months of getting the public's involvement and wanting to understand what they envisioned for downtown, what they thought what we needed to do to make it work, for the business climate, for people to enjoy the space and to come and shop, dine, live, and work. And so this is the result of that effort. So we're really excited to get it started.
Well, how many years would you say this, not just this project, but just the entirety of it has been in the makings?
Well, really since, you know, I came in this position in 1999, and when I was interviewed for the position, the former city manager, Richard Slozak, asked me, what do you think downtown needs the most? And I said, a comprehensive master plan so that we can articulate the vision and set it forth. And so really since that time we've been working towards that, and it wasn't until 2006 that the city set aside the funds necessary. It's a rather large investment to do a master plan of that sort. And so that's in 2006 is when we started the plan. But there are several key projects and partnerships that happened before that that kind of all snowballed that master plan effort. And we celebrated some of that earlier today with a Tagger 5 groundbreaking at the Union Station site to kick off the construction of the Gateway Transfer Center. And I can't say enough about our partners at NCDOT, and it's because of them back in 2000 talking about building passenger rail service from Raleigh to Wilmington through Goldsboro that really began that process. And so this has really been, since 2000,
it's been a plan, huge collaboration.
Yeah, a plan in the making. And so we're all finally getting the pieces together to make it happen.
That's what it sounds like. We're so excited to see what's going to happen in the next 18 months and moving forward. What do you, as the person who has put so much time and effort in this for so many years, what do you envision even just this piece of the project doing for downtown?
Well, I think streetscape projects are the most significant investment projects, public investment projects cities can make. There's no one silver bullet, I've been told many times over in my career, that can make a downtown work. There's nothing that you can one thing that you can focus on and do and expect to see the dramatic results that a lot of people want to see. But streetscape projects are those that you can see. You see the change, and it's real to people. And the design process that went into our consideration for our streetscape project was one that, you know, we tried to make people feel comfortable so you could see the businesses more clearly. So they had the scale, the human scale to the building scale was something that people would feel comfortable with. So there was a lot of different psychological and sociological factors that went into the design. And it's really intended to make people feel comfortable, for businesses to be able to thrive. Since November 2012, when we opened up the first phase of Streetscape project and the community really started to understand the city's commitment to downtown, we've had 25 new businesses open. So
that is amazing.
Those are the kind of results that we can expect moving forward, and the many other cities that have done streetscape projects like this have realized.
Well, speaking of other cities, are there any places, if people wanted to get online and just Google and look for other places that have done something similar, a city maybe semi-close to our size, is there one you would recommend them looking?
Well, there's several nearby. New Bern is a great town. Of course, a lot of people assume that it's because of the waterfront that
Right.
New Bern has become the great city that it is. But I remember 20 years ago driving through New Bern to get to the coast when I lived in Greenville, and the waterfront was actually a deterrent for development back then because they didn't look upon it as the asset it is today. And then Salisbury is another good example because they don't have any natural landmarks that attract people, and it's a similar size city as us. Raleigh, of course, much bigger, but they had great results, which T.A. Loving was very much involved in and happening. But I think the News Argus did a great feature story series several years ago when we started moving forward with this project, and we realized that we had the funds to do the first phase. So they did an investigative study, and they picked Salisbury, Greenville, South Carolina, and Goldsboro to compare. And I thought that was so if people want to do some research, go back to the News Argus archives and look at those stories.
That was in 2012?
2011 or 2012. But I think they did a great job
they were a good
trying
partner,
to summarize.
really trying to make sure the public understood exactly what was going on and keeping the public updated.
Right.
So we appreciate their efforts as well. Well, Randy and Mark, if you all can give me a little more information about the project itself, if you'll give an overview of what we're going to see happen from start to finish. I know that's a big job, but start to finish, and then what we can expect to see in the next 2 weeks moving forward.
First of all, I'd like to say T.A. Loving is very excited about this project too, and it goes along with, we've done one very similar to it in Raleigh, and actually Gary and I both were involved in that one, and so we're looking forward to doing this one right here in our own backyard.
Right, your own hometown, so.
So what we're looking at first phase that we'll be doing will be adjusting the traffic patterns, getting it set up where flashing the lights so people know something's coming, a change is coming. We'll be moving the traffic over to the northbound lanes. We'll make that two-way traffic. We'll be four-way stops at each of the intersections, Spruce, Walnut, and Chestnut, and then at that point in time we'll put traffic marking on the roads so that people can see where the flow goes, signs up to direct them where they have to make a turn at the intersections. So we'll give them traffic control in that way. Then we'll come in and fence the south side lanes, and it'll be from block to block. We'll leave the intersections open at all times so the traffic can
That was
flow
going to
the
be a question
intersections.
that several have already asked me, if the intersections were going to stay open.
Yes, they will be open. Now we may close down one side at a time for half a day or so to go out to the middle and make a ditch and put some piping in, and then cover it back over and then come from the other side. But the intersections will be left open at all times. And then we'll put a fence line up from the center of the median to, it'll go to about 6 foot outside of the buildings. Now when the project first starts, we'll come in and we'll put, from that 6 foot outside the building, we'll put another fence at the curb line to create a pathway for people to walk. And then we'll demo the roads. We'll be installing the water lines, because the water line has to go in from Spruce, from, what's the first one there?
Mulberry.
Mulberry, all the way down to Spruce, and we have to make that connection and get it tested
Okay.
before we can do anything else. So as we're doing that, we plan on taking the sidewalks out in front of the existing buildings and the right-of-way curb and put the new in as we're going, so that when we get down with the water line and make our connections, we've got the new sidewalk in. We can remove that front fence at the curb, and now there's a permanent 5 foot walkway in front of the buildings all the way down. Now, when we tie it in front of businesses that are operating right now, we'll do that after hours, so that when they come back the next day, leave, they have access. When they come back the next morning, the new sidewalk's there, and we don't interrupt their flow at all. Then after we get the water line in and tested, we'll start making connections on the water service to the buildings, and then putting the storm line in and following with the other trades coming down the road, because we have everything that's in the ground now has to wait until we get the water line connected and to the buildings before we can start pulling the old out. And we'll go all the way down on the south side lanes, come back in, cover that all up, get the curb lines in, start working the finishes going down as far as pavers, and then we'll flip the traffic back over to the southbound lane, come back up and start and go down the northbound lane doing the same thing and setting it up the same way. Now, as far as the roundabouts go, as we're doing the curve and all, we'll do the south side, that would be the west side, in the southbound lane of the roundabouts as we're going down, and then when we come back up the other way, well, we actually come back up and go back down. We don't. We were going to do a loop, but we decided we'll go down one side and then come all the way back up to Mulberry and go down the other side again. Then we'll finish out the other side of the roundabouts when we're doing that. And they're big enough areas leaving off these islands on the end of each of the blocks that we can direct the traffic and keep the flow around the.
So you can go through the roundabout,
we'll
even
go
during.
around the roundabouts, but we can do it while we're working them. And then that's the way we're looking at approaching it.
So we will also, Randy, correct me if I'm wrong, we'll see the center street trees will be down.
That should be part of the demolition that should start in the next couple of weeks. That will involve demolition of the street on the south side as well as the demolition of the trees.
Right.
And also short term, over the next week or so, you should see the fencing going up, and you should also see the stoplights go into a flash mode and four-way.
That's going to happen pretty quickly, right?
Yes, that should happen in the next 5, 6, 7 days, and also the four-way stop signs will go up. And also, in addition to the new water and storm drainage lines, we're also going to be converting the overhead electric to underground, and that'll be factored into the process and probably happen in the next 6 or 7 months.
So what does that mean visually?
Well, visually it means all your overhead lines will go away on the main street, Center Street. We'll leave clutter. We're also doing away with the roundabouts, doing away with our traffic signals. So we will not have the clutter or stoplights or the overhead encumbrances of those.
So lots of changes will be taking place in the next couple of weeks and moving forward. But one of the main focuses that we've had with planning of this and moving forward with this is making sure access to our downtown businesses are always available and always open.
Yeah, and that's one of the great things about having TA Loving being on board, and with the experience that they gained from working on the Fayetteville Street Mall in Raleigh. They actually came to us with an approach that even improved the plans that we had for access and traffic through Center Street during the construction project. So we're very excited to have you on board. And another great thing that the council and city management did in changing to accommodate the needs of the businesses for this part of the project was instead of it being 100% pavers on the sidewalk, we're having a 5-foot-ish strip of concrete paving that will go from the building edge out. So they're going to be able to lay that faster, which is going to be able to provide them ready, quick access during the construction project, because installing the pavers takes longer time.
Right, so in front of their businesses, 5 foot will be provided. That'll be accessed pretty much all the time.
Immediately.
In front of the businesses. Well, and that way, parking may be a little bit different. The parking flow may be a little bit different, and access will be a little bit different, but there will be parking on the street, correct?
There will be parallel parking on both sides of the northbound side of Center Street, and then you'll have those 2 lanes of traffic going, one going south, one going north. So that'll be different. We'll be compacting it all on the one side of the street as opposed to both. But we'll also have public parking in the Waynesboro House parking lot, in the JCPenney parking lot off of Mulberry Street and Center Street intersection. And of course the John Street parking lot, you won't be able to access it from Center Street anymore, but you will be from John Street through the rear. So still lots of parking available for the business customers and access to the business front, so we're ready to go.
And we're going to be having periodic meetings with the merchants downtown to keep them informed as well, face-to-face, and for them to be able to share their concerns moving forward with the project. Can we talk about the time frame of this project? Mark or Brandy, whoever would like to take that one.
Well, the time frame for construction is 15 months on the project, so we're starting here in August, so the project should be finished in November of 2015.
So 2015, November, the end of November, say the latest, our entire Center Street, starting from, well, we've already got 1 block completed, but starting from Mulberry down to Spruce,
should be completed
and have a brand new look.
Just in time for Lights Up 2015.
Exactly. How exciting will that be? Oh my goodness. Trolley rides up and down a brand new street.
Yep.
And speaking of trees, will you talk about moving forward? Will it be very similar to what we see in the first block?
It will. I think that the plans for the same plant material are in there for the next 3 blocks, so it'll look very similar.
How about in the middle section of all the way down the next 3 blocks? Will it be pretty much the same as what we have here in this first block, or is it a little different situation?
It'll be a little different because the parking configuration at the current block is parallel parking 100%.
Right.
The next 3 blocks to meet the needs of the businesses will retain the head and angled parking on the center median side, be parallel on the building curb or the sidewalk side. So in order to do that, you need more width in the parking configuration. So we had to take that width out of the center median. So the current center median in front of City Hall is 30 feet. Moving forward, it'll be about 18 or 19 feet. So it'll be reduced in size. That linear grass strip will be reduced in size. And there won't be a walkway right now connecting, going down that way. But that's the only significant change you'll see.
Well, plus midways down, you have a larger area and a seating area at the midpoint in each block. So that it does open up and allow you places to sit, and then there'll be a crosswalk there also going from north lane to south lane.
The other two interesting features that this phase will implement that we didn't implement in the first phase is we're going to have speaker systems throughout the 3 blocks. And we're going to retrofit the first block, and we'll also have Wi-Fi availability.
Excellent. That'll be nice for downtown.
Yes, it will. We're looking forward to it.
We've talked about the one roundabout, how we would be having the very nice, beautiful water fountain. How about in the other 2 roundabouts? Do we know at this point in time where we're going with that?
We know the direction we're going. Specifically, we don't know what's going to go there, but they're going to be created to install public art pieces, large public art pieces, some type of sculpture piece. We haven't identified what those pieces are yet, but we will be working on that in the next 15 months.
So 15 months of construction, trying to be as merchant-friendly as possible, trying to work with our citizens downtown so you can continue to come down and shop, continue to come to your favorite businesses as you always have, enjoy the theater, all the things, the great things that we already have downtown. Looking forward to a brand new look, brand new feel, and continued new businesses coming to downtown.
Yeah, and we want to thank those businesses that are there today for being patient with us through this construction process, and call us if they have any questions or concerns throughout it. We'll be there to see what we can do to help you and
make adjustments when necessary.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you all for being with us today. This is the very first for Phase 2 of Center Street Streetscape updates, with many more to come. Every 2 weeks, like we said in the beginning, we will be having updates provided for you. You'll see a lot of these same familiar faces each and every time. Don't forget to visit our website, Goldsboro.gov. This will be placed right on our home page. We'll also have updates on the city's Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram on a regular basis. So thank you for being with us, everybody. And this is it. Center Street Streetscape Phase 2 begins.